few days ago, I finished the late hit Amazon Prime show that came out a few years ago about Jack Reacher. If you don't know, there was some Jack Reacher movies with Tom Cruise that were made back in the day. But those movies did not really, while they did the action justice, they weren't accurate to how Jack Reacher is described in the books. Speaking of books, I bought the first book by Lee Child, Killing Floor. Now, Season 1 is based entirely on Killing Floor, so we will look to the book for references in some of those aspects, but basically we're going to be diving into Reacher Season 1. Spoilers are allowed here, so there may be certain things we touch on, but I'll let you know when it comes across. So, Reacher is starred by Malcolm Goodwin, who plays Finley, as well as Alan Richardson himself, most known for Titans, and many other things, including Ninja Turtles. So the synopsis for Reacher is, ex-military policeman Jack Reacher is a drifter. He's just passing through Margrave, Georgia, and in less than an hour, he's arrested for murder. Not much of a welcome. All Reacher knows is that he didn't kill anybody, at least not here, not lately. But he doesn't stand a chance of convincing anyone, not in Margrave, Georgia, not a chance in hell. So, that's what the back of the book says. So, like I said, it's based on Killing Floor, which is the first book. Yeah. And the first season really just builds tension here. And you really just feel it's just amazing. Like, it starts out kind of like a Nancy Drew Mystery Series. Imagine Nancy Drew with a jacked guy that gets into fistfights often. And Alan Richardson is brilliant in this role. I mean, he can deliver snappy, like, detective answers despite not being a cop anymore. He's a better detective than any of the other detectives in this department. And this department, Season 1 has a similar story to the movie of Rebel Ridge, where it's about corruption, but it's handled an entire different spin here, and you really just get that vibe. This show, when it has action, there is action. From the first episode we see, when Reacher is put in Gen Pop temporarily, he gets into a fight with a couple of very dangerous convicts in order to protect Hubble, who is someone he is investigating. And he gets to deliver both snappy one-liners, but just like my instructors have taught me in Krav Maga, incredible simultaneous attacks, including eye jabs, gouging someone's eye, doing palm strikes, doing insane elbows. It's just a recipe for disaster, and it's beautiful. The choreography is incredible and brutal. Not necessarily about flashy kicks like you see in Cobra Kai or other shows, much more of a brutal nature of how a soldier fights, which I definitely relate to in terms of my Krav Maga style. While I do like my karate, I would much more rely on 10 different strikes than fancy kicks. And this show delivers that. I mean, there is some gunplay in the show, there's some hand-to-hand combat, it fires on all cylinders. And what makes the show work so brilliantly is that while Tom Cruise was formidable in his techniques in the movies, this Jack Reacher, played by Alan Richardson, is a tank. And he's much more like a kaiju, where he's so well built he can just throw dudes around. And it's brilliant. But it's not just about action. There's great mystery in the story, and you see fantastic character development with each of the characters. How Reacher responds to his newfound friends. Him being a drifter means he doesn't stay in one place for long. And as the mystery unfolds, the first season really dives into the mystery of who killed Reacher's brother. And when you find out, it will shock and surprise you. But what's really interesting about it is the final showdown really sets the tone for everything. You will see how Margrave is saved. Reacher saves Margrave. It builds up so brilliantly. Great action choreography, great story, and the way Reacher has these snappy answers. And also, I love the satisfying feeling at the end of the finale when he finally gets to eat the pie, but with his friend Finley. But everything he's been doing throughout this entire show has been building to him getting this slice of pie, and the pie in the end was just alright. So there is a bit of comedy in this show because of the way that Reacher responds. He's got great one-liners. He's very sassy with the way he responds, and it's brilliant. I mean, one of my favorite lines in season 1 is actually when one of the inmates tries to hurt Hubble, after he smashes his glasses, Reacher jumps down and says to the biggest guy, "You're in my house, fatso, and you didn't ask permission." Like it's great. Like the way that the fights. We have an incredible shower fight scene. We have an incredible just him teaching them lessons, and just multiple times throughout the show, you're seeing multiple people cause problems for Reacher, and he's dealing with it. He develops a great connection to Willa. I think it was. Well, how did you say her last name? Let me see. Willa. We'll just call her Roscoe. Roscoe is played by Willa Fitzgerald, and so she's a pretty big character because she is she was done in season 1 and kind of had a bit of a relationship with Reacher. Kind of got to know him. We got to see. Also, fair warning for this show: if you're watching this on Amazon Prime, we talked about fight scenes, but there is also, especially in the first season, not a lot. But there is some nudity as well as brutal fight scenes. So just be warned if you're watching this show with someone, make sure you watch it with the right people, not your kids. But overall, I really love this first season. The twist of the whole town being in on it except for these 3 cops working together, but everybody else being dirty, it's been done before, but it was handled in excellent succession. The fight scene against our main threat being, I think it was KJ was the lead villain, it was fantastic. Reacher got justice. People were dealt what they were dealt, and vengeance was done for Joe, and it was brilliant. It was a great first season. I love the show. Alan Richardson brings so much gravitas to this role, and he does a lot with the character, and I'm really excited for you guys to see my season 2 review because we dive even more into it in season 2. This cast of characters is specifically interesting. Reacher arguing with the detectives, and then finally they need his help, so they get him to help. And we meet one of Reacher's army buddies, Neely, which does not like physical contact. But the show's great. My thoughts on season 1, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was a great season. Great starting the show. And if you guys haven't watched Reacher, please do yourself in to watch it, guys. It's great. Let me know your thoughts. What did you think about my review? And as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.